what is the state of the art right now as it relates to hiring and diversity, and how do you think that might change with this case?
Probably, I think what is happening now that's most interesting as it applies to diversity is the fact that there's far greater transparency that candidates and employers have around what their actual profile is. Over the course of last year, Apple, Intuit, Google, Facebook have all self-disclosed, in Twitter, right? They've all self-disclosed what their gender mix is, and it's horrible.
It's been such an interesting thing because they're so in the spotlight by disclosing this. All the numbers look bad for all those companies,
right.
But they're also, you know, if these suits are out there and we're getting settled and we're not hearing about them, those stats look bad. Add to that, they're going to be called on to update those stats. And the stats, are they going to look any better?
Well, that's the big question, right? And I think what companies are faced with now is the reality that all of this affects their brand. Employer brand is so influenced by, you know, how well you're doing in terms of hitting, in this case, diversity initiatives that they have. And one of the interesting things that I think is happening right now is the fact that these companies are offering what they are, but they're not putting forth what their plans are to do to address it. And I think I'd be shocked if there isn't an executive room or a boardroom where this isn't front and center on the topic, where they're saying, what are we doing and what do we want to say about what we're doing?
So what has changed in terms of the way they're doing hiring in the last year, after these reports are out there, in the light of this trial?
Honestly, I haven't seen a whole lot change.
Really?
I think the conversation around gender diversity has been around for a while, diversity in general. And I actually think that people are struggling to find ways to be able to stand out and be able to do this more effectively. So I think going forward, is this trial specifically going to change the game materially? I don't think so, but it's raising the conversation. It's raising, I think, the visibility to this topic being something that's important. Because candidates can see, they can go to LinkedIn and see, how many women do you have? How often are they getting promoted? Is this really a place that I want to go to if that's important to me? And so it has been happening, and I think it's going to continue to move, but there's a long way to go, and I haven't seen any material big changes.
Do you think that because this is the lowest in this region, in the Silicon Valley, the technology heart of the world, right, has the lowest unemployment in the nation? And because of that, do you think that the companies are in such a race to succeed and will hire any warm body that can fulfill the tasks that are hard to fill in those jobs, that diversity takes much more of a backseat because they don't have the choices that they'd like to have?
Okay, so this, I think, gets to the heart of the question that I think for executives and boardrooms to buy into diversity, I believe, they've got to buy into the concept that that is a winning strategy that leads to greater profits.
Right.
And I'm calling that an offensive strategy. What I fear with the Ellen Pao trial is it's going to force people to take more of a defensive position, like, oh my gosh, we have to do this because it could hurt our brand, versus it'll make us greater if we have more women and we have a greater diverse pool. So I think that's what the big difference is going to be, is that if you look at this and say, it's better for us, it's better for our profits, it's better for our brand if we do this, then you're going to see change.
What are the most common tools used by companies to move towards a more diverse workforce that are stupid, that seem like a good idea by well-intentioned people but don't work well?
I think you create a separate diversity office that is over here versus every executive owns diversity. This is whenever you separate out and put like, oh, we've got a special team focused on diversity over here, I think it becomes seen as like a token effort. And I don't think those work necessarily, because it's that person's job over there to be dealing with diversity. Where the right way approaching it, I believe, is we're all in. We believe this. It's what we are. It's who we are. It's our DNA. And so that, I don't think it's necessarily wrong to have someone helping you drive new creative approaches to find diverse candidates, because there are schools and there are areas and demographics where you can go after to find more people. But a comprehensive strategy that says we're going to invest in scholarships for more women to become STEM majors, I mean, that's a holistic approach. Just these one-off, like, hey, we've got a diversity
officer. Also sounds like it's planting seeds and having to look way out in the future about solving it instead of fixing the problem before your next diversity report.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I've seen companies locally. I mean, Facebook is a great example. They're sponsoring, scholarships. They're bringing kids into the office, young girls into the office to show them what is possible. This is, engaging families and more broadly. That's a holistic approach. What I don't want is...
Facebook is being sued for sexual harassment even as we speak.
I know. I mean, this is the thing. People, every team has players that are going to be happy, unhappy. I mean, people are people. This is why I love what I do, dealing with these kinds of things. It's unpredictable. It's hard. And even if you do the right thing, sometimes you're going to twist someone the wrong way. So it's really hard.